Welcome to the Virginia Carolina Deer Tracts podcast. I'm Mike Davis, and I am here to talk about everything hunting, hunting land, and the great outdoors in both Virginia and North Carolina. Thanks for tuning in. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Virginia Carolina Deer Tracts. I'm Mike Davis, and today we have an old friend come back to visit us, Mr. Tim Andrus. How you doing, Tim?
Yes, sir. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Listen, I've been dreaming about this day for 2 years. I've probably been obsessing over it because Tim was so gracious 2 years ago, I think it was, to do a podcast with us here at the Virginia Outdoor Show. And with my lack of tech savvy, we'll call it, just really couldn't account for the background noise of the crowd. So the audio was not up to par with where I wanted it to be. And, of course, you didn't figure it out until the show was over and went back to do editing. Tim's long gone. And, man, I've just hated it since then, and I've just been chomping at the opportunity to get you back on here to try to do you justice. That's the goal.
I appreciate having it. It was a lot of fun last time, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun this time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And, last year, I was going to try it again last year, and I think that I was here the day I was here, you weren't here, and vice versa. Okay. So this one's been a long time brewing. Coming, and yeah,
been brewing.
I'm so excited to start. I don't even know where to get started, really. So just to give you guys a background in case you haven't watched all of the episodes, and why on earth would you not do that? I don't even remember what episode number Tim was in, but anyway, Tim is a longtime Realtree Ambassador, right?
Since 1996.
96.
29 years.
Also the, what do you consider, the host of Rush Outdoors TV?
Rush Outdoors TV. We have a regional and national show. The regional show runs in Blankets, New York State, a little bit of Southern Ontario, Canada, a little bit of Northern PA. And then we have our national show, The World of Rush Outdoors, on the Pursuit Channel, second quarter.
Wow. It's good stuff. One of the things that I, said, and you're probably tired of hearing this, last time, I'm sure you all can catch from the accent that Tim is not a Southern boy, but he is not what you would expect, at least in the stereotypical sense, from a New Yorker.
Yeah, I'm 7 hours away from New York City. I should be Canadian. I live on, I told you last night at dinner, where we live on Lake Ontario, my closest neighbor to the north is Canada, across the lake, 30 miles across. So I'm...
Yeah, he's, how do I say this? Tim is one of us. He just talks funny.
I'll give you that. My Yankee, no doubt. I tell you one thing you guys have that I don't miss is this heat.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool today. It's still, we get 10 days maybe at over 90 degrees at home, and I think we've had 10 this year, and I'm like, you guys, that's an everyday.
Yeah, when summertime hits, man, it gets pretty thick out there. You can swim through the humidity.
But the good news is deer season's coming.
Deer season is coming. I'm not going to sing the song again, by the way. Yeah.
What's it?
I'm not going to sing that song again to follow that up, by the way. Yes, deer season is coming, so let's jump right into that. What do you have on slate this year?
Well, believe it or not, getting off of deer, go to antelope. I'll be in Wyoming in 2 weeks from today. I will be in a blind, and hopefully by now I might have already arrowed one. I'm kind of hoping to do that. My last 2 times I hunted there, I shot the first day. So I have an antelope hunt with a couple friends. We'll be there, like I said, 2 weeks from today. And then I don't have anything until I start in Wyoming. I call it my Western Tour.
Yeah.
I start out in Wyoming, rifle hunt for deer, leave there, go with a muzzleloader hunt to Oklahoma, leave there, turn around, go to the Panhandle of Texas for a gun hunt, and then head up to South Dakota for a gnarly deer hunt.
Wow. That is a full schedule.
And then get back home and fill my tags at home, hopefully.
Well, so you get the travel out of the way first.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that makes sense. That's probably the smart way to do it. Man, that's pretty neat.
Like do it yourself. To me, the do it yourself trips it's more rewarding. Yeah, you're not going to you could kill the biggest buck, Last year was a good year for me on the quality of deer. You know, everything happens for a reason. You have good years, you have bad years.
Yeah, well, you've definitely had some good years.
I've had some tough. I've had, you have some tough years over the past there. I try to forget about them, and but it's all about. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to go kill a big deer, and there's something about the first morning or the first evening on stand on a blind or in a tree, watching the sun come up or go down, and I'm just at peace with everything.
Oh, man.
It's like you wait all this time for that time to come, and it goes by so fast.
It does.
It does.
And you're getting a little melodramatic on me, but but you're right. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us out there have spouses that don't get into this, mine included, and I try to explain that to her, and I just don't think I can ever do it justice using the English language to try to explain that feeling.
Well, Karen, you met Karen
yes,
last night,
yeah,
and so she is not a hunter. And she didn't really know get the whole thing, but when I retired, and she retired the year after me, and she didn't get the whole thing until she went out there and realized how much fun it was. And she doesn't hunt. She doesn't want to be around the field dressing, butchering, and all that.
Sometimes I don't want to be around that.
She's my picture girl.
Yeah, there you go.
She takes pictures for me. So that's, it's hard to do it. Even if you can use like the stand you have right there. I've got a pretty good one that I use, and I make her jump through hoops. I mean, I hope she listens to this, like she probably will. She jumps through a lot of hoops to get pictures. I'll take probably 50 pictures to get that one or two good
right.
ones. I gotta give Realtree a plug, Scentlock, CBA, for its bear buffets a bowl, so I can get quality photos, and she does a good job.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, my wife will do the same. The poses, she'll handle that. But now, as far as like filming your hunts, you do that yourself, don't you?
Yep.
That's 100% solo.
Yep. Yeah. It's. I've had my bumps. I've had some. A couple times I had a deer I shot at home a few years ago. He was like 1 second to be out of frame, and it just happened. I just got it. The cameras cost me a few deer over the years. I'm not gonna lie. Nothing tremendously big, or it might have been a bad scene.
Yeah, I mean, as I've tinkered in the self-filming world, it adds such a difficult element to an already difficult activity. You know,
always learning, and then like the ones that like this year, I got a new camera this year, and I was in Montana turkey hunting, and it's got a new. Digital zoom. It's got more digital zoom. So trying to I zoom in that turkey like so close. I'm like, that's too much. I had to,
like zooming in on its eye, and then you got to back it up.
The thing is, when you self-film, tree stand hunting is tough. I mean, you got to think there. You have it kind of figured out. You pull back so you can get the whole coverage in there. And if you have time to you think you know where that deer is going to go, do it. Like this mic right here, I've been at draw before and had the deer move, and I'm like trying to push.
Oh my gosh!
Over to do it, and that cost me a deer.
Oh man, I can imagine.
I was pretty mad at myself, and I didn't have to. I was just trying to. Besides, when you start filming, you want to get everything to be perfect. You want that perfect footage, and I didn't have him full frame, center frame. He was just the whole deer wasn't in it. The way the angle was, I just needed to move it. And when I moved it, he saw the movement or did something and blew out of there.
Oh, man.
And that was a trip out of state, and I ate my tag on that one.
Yeah. Everybody I talk to that does that has completely similar stories. And like I said, I think, it's the benefit outweighs the, the risk reward kind of thing, but you're
when it all comes together.
Yeah, it's just magical.
First thing I do, say the deer's coming across this and I shoot, release arrow, whatever. If I see it go down, I make sure he's down for good. And next thing I do is I come back and I look at the footage. I just want to make sure everything was right, and then have to go through the whole thing there. It's actually a lot of work after the animal falls.
Yeah.
To get a lot of stuff you have to do. You got to talk about what happened, and then you have the camera in there and you're excited. It's terrible. Last thing I want to do is go talk on right now. I want to go look at my deer and look at it.
Yeah.
I want to hold them and all that. And but it's fun. It's very rewarding. That's the right word, I think.
Awesome. So you were pushing 30 years with Realtree.
Yep, 29 years right now. I told them this year at a SHOT Show, I said, hey, if anything, let me get to 30. If you want to let me go at 30, I'd be happy with it. But I couldn't be mad at them if they did. It happens. But 30 years would be great. They've opened up so many doors for me over the years. Places I've been for shows, people I've met. It's been a fantastic run.
Oh man, we were sitting around last night just listening to the stories, and
Really?
man, just unbelievable stories, behind the scenes stuff. Wish I could share some of those with y'all, but probably better if we didn't. To protect all parties involved. But Realtree is getting ready to come up on their 40th anniversary as a company, and of course, everybody knows who Realtree is, but you were actually the first Realtree person, the Realtree ambassador that I've had any real interaction with when we met 2 years ago. And of course, you made a phenomenal impression on me just for being such a down to earth and wonderful guy. Just from starting to we were nobodies reaching out to you, and you were so warm and welcoming and receptive, and it was not an act. For the 2 years since then, we've remained in touch.
Yep.
Wish each other happy birthday or check in on this and that. And I bring that up because 2 years since then, I've met a few other Realtree folks. Mm-hmm. Been to the Realtree farm. We've met Bill. We've met Tyler. I had Tyler on the podcast, and it is just a common thread that runs through all the people that I have met with that company so far. I know the motto's like friends, family. Man, I'm totally botching that. But whatever it is not just a marketing logo. It seems to be a true culture and way of life. And I've been so blessed to spend time, with all of you, that I just cannot say enough good things about all of you. So, the hooks are in me deep is all I can say about that.
It's been a great run, like I said. The people I've met, I watched Tyler grow up. I remember with Bill in Atlanta at his show, and I think it was the 1 year NWTF was in Atlanta. And I remember walking with Bill and Tyler was going to Little League practice.
Yeah.
And now look at him, he's a grown man now, and it just makes me feel old, though, a little bit, not gonna lie.
Yeah, oh, I bet. Yeah. I bet. Yeah, I did. I asked Tyler, I was like, man, what was it like? You've gone from being the kid that was just around all of these hunting immortals, and now you are among them. You're doing it now. And he's like, he was like, I never thought of it that way. I thought every kid grew up like that. He did, and that makes a lot of sense once he said it. But that was pretty cool. So 2 weeks. I'm very jealous that you get to start in 2 weeks.
Wyoming. I'll be in a blind. Hopefully, I'll be back looking and taking pictures of an antelope right now. It's just a lot of fun, and with friends we get there. So I went 2 years and 2 out of 3 years I went, and so I got a couple guys I used to work with. They're big hunters, and Karen's cousin's husband's a big hunter. I said, you guys we have to go do this. You guys will love it. It's something different than whitetail, and and everyone wants to try something different. And they're like, okay. I said, yeah. Well, they had a bad winter kill, and they slashed the non-resident tags, slashed all the tags.
Yeah.
And here it is, 6 years later, we finally drew.
Wow.
6 years, been waiting. It's been a big joke. They're like, are we actually going? And I'm like, we're going.
And that's something I haven't gotten into, the out of state draws for tags and stuff, and to hear the stories, it's very intimidating.
It's a hobby for me. I'm trying to think. My passion is I love do-it-yourself trips, and the reason how it started is because my first one I wanted to do. This is back before the days of cell phones and computers. you would look at a magazine and see like an outfitter and wherever, and I'm like, well, I want to go to Montana and hunt deer.
Right.
So I either write a letter or you call, and you get a brochure. The first thing you do is you open up the brochure. You're like, oh, you have to explain to your other half that you want to go all that way, spend all that money to shoot the same darn deer you have in your backyard. But it's different, you know.
It's the same,
like,
but it's different.
I'm like, well, I gotta do something here. So I don't need, like you're a hunter. You need a place to go. I didn't want to mess with public land. There's nothing wrong with public land. I wanted being greedy. I wanted my own. So I put an ad in a couple newspapers in Montana. Called up, had to pay to put an ad in. And
now, was this like a display ad or like one of those classified ads?
Like a say, a hunter looking to hunt your ground. I wish I would have had a copy of the way I wrote it, because people used to tease me about it. I said, looking to hunt your ground, will pay reasonable trespass fee, which was really never knew what a trespass fee was. They thought you got arrested for trespassing. It started I believe in Texas, where you pay the landowner a trespass fee to go hunt the ground.
Yeah.
And with the stipulation, you're the only one on it. So I called a bunch of people, and I forgot about the time difference, 2-hour time difference from back east to there. So a lot of them ranches would be getting done at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and it was 11 o'clock at home. My phone's ringing. And a lot of them just wanted to visit. You know, got a kick out of me putting an ad in the paper. And then one guy...
They were like, who is this guy?
So I knew of a guy, and, like that. Next thing you know, I got this rancher and called him up, and we made a deal. And I'm like, okay. When I was afraid what he was going to say, and I think I paid $50 a day. And I said, I'm coming. And if I draw the tag, I drew a tag, and we got out there, and I fell in love. I was hooked.
Oh, yeah.
And I've done, I don't know how many, 60, 70, 80 do-it-yourself trips over the years now.
Wow.
Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota are probably my favorite. I mean, they're all good, but there's something about the West.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have visited the West, but I've never hunted the West.
It's addicting. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't done it, anybody listening to this podcast, do yourself a favor. Even if you're not going to hunt deer or antelope, go hunt turkey. Go out there and kill a Merriam. Go to Texas or Oklahoma and kill a Rio. Get out and see it just, you'll get hooked. When Christmas time comes, everybody loves Christmas. And at Christmas Day, I'm over it. I'm thinking going to show season starts January. I'm on the road. And everybody's finishing up about that. My mind has already started. I'm looking for new ground to get on. That's my hobby. Find a new private ground to get on. I used to do seminars on it.
Yeah.
Find how to do it yourself trips.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
I missed a cue. My buddy was right, and one guy did it, and now it wouldn't sell because no one reads books anymore. I was going to do a book. I was going to write a book on how to go through the whole thing. Should I drive or should I fly? Public versus private land. What stands or what states are hot, how to draw the tag, over-counter tag, how it all works.
Yeah.
And I was going to go through make a little book.
Wow.
And I never did.
Yeah. Now you can make a YouTube series.
I thought about it, but I don't know. I'm getting old.
I hear you. So is this a young man's game now?
I don't think so. I mean, I look at a lot of the guys that were icons when I was younger. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
It's not about your age. You still feel good, and I still feel good. I go today. You texted me today. I was at the gym this morning.
Yeah.
Did I want to go? No.
It didn't make me feel guilty at all.
When I'm hopping up a hill or trying to pull that buck in the back of the tailgate or on the truck, I'm like, I'm glad I did it.
You figure out quick, fast, in a hurry what kind of shape you're in doing that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of seminars, hey, we got some tools going off. Speaking of seminars and the noise, we are at the Virginia Outdoor Show, right? This is how many years for you now? 3, 4?
Third year, yep.
Third year doing seminars. Unfortunately, by the time this comes out, the show will be over.
Come on down right now.
Right now. If you come down the first 5 listeners. No, but anyway, so let's talk about your seminars a little bit. I certainly enjoyed them 2 years ago when I got to see you in action. What are you doing? Are you doing kind of the same kind of
Yeah,
stuff
I'm doing,
now? Or are you talking about different stuff?
The one today I've got is called the Do's and Don'ts Run a Trail Camera. I mean, everybody these days has got a trail camera. Cell cameras are getting to be more popular now. So I just touch on little things that we can do. And cell cameras or trail cameras aren't just for deer hunters. They're great for turkey scouting, bears. I have a friend use them for waterfowl.
No kidding.
Yeah, every trail camera on the bottom of a trail camera's got a 1/4 hole out there. He goes and puts stakes in the ground with a threaded rod that he makes, puts it in a slough, a pond or whatever, about 8 inches off the water's edge, not facing the east or west because you get blotted out. And he knows when the ducks and geese light on the pond or slough and when they leave and heads it down. They pattern them that way.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's the same concept, just a different species,
guys
right?
That put them on trap sets to see how the fox or a coyote comes into a dirt hole set, to see how they are, to learn from it.
Yeah, see if they would make adjustments, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So what, I remember a couple of things that you talked about with trail cameras last time. One of which was like just something as simple, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but it was something as simple as sometimes just turning your camera a little bit, right?
Yeah, and just because, you're walking to a field or a hollow or wherever, and you look and you see, oh my God, I can just picture a buck coming up here, doing this, doing that, working a licking branch, whatever. You put a trail camera there, and I tell everybody, just because you think it's a great spot, doesn't mean it is a great spot. Or it could be, but if you don't get too much going on there, take that camera and just turn it 180 degrees, see what's going on their way.
Yeah.
Everybody is, what's the word I'm looking for, has their own opinions on deer, and people do seminars on deer hunting, and I don't do seminars on actual deer hunting anymore, because I could go there and you've been hunting for many years, and so is this guy, that guy, and know what's going to happen come fall. I can tell you what to do. You're going to do the same thing
right.
you've been doing. We're creatures of habit.
Yeah.
And so are deer to an extent. And then people tell you the deer, all them bucks don't walk on the same trails as the does and the young bucks done. And I disagree with a lot of that. I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But the thing is, that deer never read that book or read that article.
Right. They don't read the script.
Yeah.
They don't know.
And trust me, I know they don't, because sometimes when I think I have a deer figured out, and he schools me.
Well, I can certainly testify to that tip. I mean, firsthand. This was many, many years ago when I first started running trail cams, and I had one, overlooking a food plot, beautiful setup, had the right angle, tons of deer on it, no shooter bucks in particular. And later in the season, probably post rut, I was back there hunting that field for something, and walked past the camera, and maybe 10 feet behind that camera, there was a tree just tore all to pieces. And man, to know that my camera was so close
to get that photo,
and that buck never moved 10 feet that way to get into that field in front of that camera, just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's, to me, I mean, but they can be a deterrent, not a deterrent, it's not the right word. Some guys, I mean, I tell a story during one of my seminars, and I saw tell it today, is my buddy John's a big deer hunter. He films for the show, and he had this buck showing up on camera, on a cell camera, at like between 7 and 7:30 every morning on this food plot. And he showed me pictures, and it was a great looking buck. I said, "You gonna kill that deer?" And he goes, "I can't get back there where it's at without blowing him out."
Oh.
And I'm like, and he had a ground blind there.
Yeah.
Well, one night Karen and I watching TV, and it's like 9 o'clock, and he sent me a text message like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "You home?" I'm like, "Yeah." And my phone rings. It's him, and he's whispering. Like, "Why are you whispering?" He goes, "I'm in my blind." I go, "In your blind? Why are you in your blind at 9 o'clock?" He goes, "I'm spending the night here.
I'm camping, right?
I'm waiting. I'm going to kill that buck in the morning." He goes, "I got it. I'm going to do it." And he goes, "I figure it's the only way I'm going to do it." And that's the kind of guy he is. He goes all in.
I mean, when access is a problem, I mean, that was probably a smart move. Did he get it?
No.
It's still a good move.
The story goes, I waited the next morning, and I was waiting for getting a text message or call saying I killed him, and I didn't. And finally, I texted him like at 8 something. I go, "What happened?" And he's got another food plot 400, 500 yards away. It's a little small one that he can slide into and be, wind conditions and all that. And that deer never showed up. Some other deer showed up, and he was getting all excited. That buck never showed. And at 8 o'clock, his phone dinged. Other side of his land.
Oh.
The buck's in a food plot over there.
Oh, man.
And I go, so are you going to go spend the night in there? And he goes, no, it's a tree stand there. He goes, but if I had a blind there, I might consider it. That deer, to this day, we think that deer knew he went in there because he stopped. It didn't show up for that day and the next day. Third day, he's back in that food plot.
He knew.
More.
He knew something, some kind of instinctive.
I asked him, I go, how did you get in there? Did you go, he goes, I walked down, it's an old railroad bed there. When I went down the railroad bed, there's no, like, I'm making a lot of noise. I snuck in there, and he goes, I said, could you have bumped him going in? And he goes, everything was right conditions. That's the only reason I did it.
Yeah.
And he'd do it again. I mean, you got to be a little bit touched, I think, in this business.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, that's very true because unless you just have that golden horseshoe, right? I mean, you got to go way beyond the extra mile to have the kind of
a little bit
to kind of have the success rate that some of you guys have. I mean, it just for your average weekend warrior, I call it.
Yeah.
We just don't have the I'm not I'm not going to say that because it's laziness, but
I have a perfect one of my best bucks I killed home in New York with a bow. I was still working. I wasn't retired. I was on vacation, and it was a day, and it was 70 degrees. It was like the warm front came in. It was misty rain out and 70 degrees, and I'm like, I'm not going to go sit. And I'm talking to a buddy of mine. He goes, "You gonna sit on the couch? Not gonna shoot it on the couch?" I'm like, you know what? I'll go out there just. So I go to a stand that I didn't really care for. It was the closest to the. I mean, it was literally. I drove my truck in probably 300 yards and walked about 200 yards. Climbed in this ladder stand in a little food plot that I had that I usually hunt during gun season, and I thought I can see a lot.
Yeah.
So I can do a little recon.
Right. Turn it into a scouting mission. I just happen to have a bow
that I'd never seen before. A buck came out that I'd never seen before. I see him, and he's 150 yards away, and he's working a branch, and I'm like, just once, I wish one of you deer would just telecommute him, come this way.
Come this way.
You're gonna go the other way. I know you are. And he heard me, turns, walks down the trail, right to me, gets to around 20 yards, and turns broadside and starts walking by me. And I put an arrow in him. And I called my buddy up, before I called anybody, and I said, I owe you.
Oh, yeah.
I owe you. I go, you gave me that nudge. He goes, what do you mean? I sent a picture of the buck laying there.
Oh, man.
And I'll never forget that. And I was not going to go. I was taking the easy way out. I didn't want to get hot, want to get sweaty. It was misty rain out. And I filmed it, too. It wasn't bad. I had I took a gallon Ziploc bag, a little bit bigger, and cut a hole in it there and had it going over like that, just to keep the thing there. And I put a hat on top of it. If it got really hard, I was going to put it in rain hard. It was just a misty rain.
Right.
Didn't hurt the camera at all.
Wow.
I'm pretty happy with that. That's one of my, everybody think what your favorite hunt is. That's one of my all-time favorite because things happen like that. I don't know if I told you my last one we talked. I was in South Dakota hunting with a bow for either muley or whitetail, and I was in a ground blind. It was elevated a little bit, and it was my last morning, and I've got a 180-inch mule deer 150 yards out in front of me, walking around, pushing dough around there, and I'm praying to everybody I can think of, let that deer come to me. And my mom had just passed a few years before that, and a lot of times I talk to her in a tree or whatever. I said, Mom, I could use a little help here. And just then, a doe appears right below me, like right over there.
Yeah.
And then a second later, I see a main beam, and a different buck came in. It was right there. Now, I'm so intent filming that buck and taking pictures of that with my phone, my bow is leaning against the side there.
Oh.
So I pick up my bow, must have made some noise. He's walking away with following her. He got around 15 yards, and I drew the bow back. And he heard it. Oh, I think he heard it. He stopped and turns and looks back at me. And I released the arrow. And probably my best shot I've ever taken an animal. I don't remember aiming. It just was like,
instinct just takes over at that point.
The guys from Phoenix today I put a desperation bead on him and let the arrow go, and it came in just back and went through his off shoulder there, and watched him tip over on film.
Nice.
And I had to turn the camera. I had the camera on me, and it was true emotion. I mean, I got choked up when I did it. I said, "Thanks, Mom." I needed that, and it was one of our.
Don't make me cry on the podcast, Tim.
It was probably one of our most people loved that when I did like that. I mean, I walked up and it was like, it was this huge muley, and I killed it with a bow on top of that. That was even, and so that's probably my most memorable hunt.
Oh man, what a story!
Yeah, I remember. It was a little misty there for a little bit.
Oh yeah. That mist wasn't coming from the clouds this time. But going back to the other story. About your friend giving you that nudge. Mm-hmm. I think we all need that nudge sometimes. I mean, in life in general, but especially during the hunting. When the season starts getting long, right? And the season's longer for you than it is for me because it's your job. At some point it becomes a grind, right? All of that traveling.
I have my sponsors wanted to see critters getting killed.
Right.
Sorry for saying it, but that's what they are. They're getting killed using their product.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to shoot a big guy. I like that. If I can shoot a true representative animal for the area, I'm good with it. I'm not going to shoot a small deer just to get it like that. I'm not that guy. But it does get a little bit of pressure on you.
Oh man.
A little bit of pressure.
Well, I guess a hot topic in the hunting news these days is some of the TV folks that have crossed some ethical lines.
TV shows that are legit. A bad name. We get a bad.
Yeah. And man, this is totally off the cuff here, but I just thinking about that, and I'm certainly not condoning what was done, but I almost have, I guess, a little bit of an understanding just from the amount of pressure you guys feel to be successful year in and year out. Like there's got to be that pressure to produce.
Yeah, and I had a hard year like 5-6 years ago, and I was followed by a year that if I put a tree stand up in here, I would have shot a deer out of it. It was one of those. You're either on or you're off. And there's nothing you can do to make that work. It's just you got to keep grinding it and hoping and praying that it happens. But yeah, that was there's every so often, and what you said, I think there is some truth to that. You've made the deal with a company and you want to produce, but I mean, for me, I've been, like I said, I will lose everything that I've worked for that little bit. It ain't for me.
Well, the history books are full of people that have been brought down by temptation, right?
Perfect way to,
and that's no different. But I think again, the fact that you've been in this game for going on 30 years now, and that's just not the kind of guy that you are.
No.
And been able to stay 3 decades in this business and be successful, that is a total nod to you.
One of my friends is in the industry says it's like, there's the big dogs out there, and I'm not a big dog by any means. There's like you got the Waddell, you've got Kenneth Lancaster, from the Given Right, and I know all them guys real well, and we're like my buddy called you like the working man TV show. They say you don't work anymore, but it's like what the average guy can see. That one of my guys films pretty much all on public land, hunts public land and kills deer.
Man, it's incredible.
And in last year he had a hard year. He couldn't, everything that went against what he was trying to do was stacked against him, but he ended up killing. And we do it for the passion. Everybody's like, oh, I don't believe that. They're doing it for the money. I'm like, no, there's no money in TV.
Right.
Anybody tells you that, they're lying to you a little bit. That should get really. It's endorsements are big, and if you're doing a product, you have your own product. If you like, we had a Mike Davis call. Then you're gonna make. There you go. Now you got. That should do it.
Guaranteed to run the deer out of the field.
but you have to pay an editor to do a show. You have to pay to be on networks. But the thing is, though, that I get to go, like, I mean, yes, I do well with the TV show, but, like, doing the seminars, that's my fun. I don't want to tell people what I did. I want to hear what they did. I want to see the pictures. I want to see a little kid show me his first buck or first bass he caught. That, to me, is what it's all about.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, I love it when folks just break their phone out and start showing you pictures. I just never get tired of that.
Yeah, I have a show I do in Michigan, Novi, Michigan. It's called Outdoorama. I've been doing it 10 years. And I've got people that come every year that have been there and show me pictures from last year. And I had one of my best ones was, I do it in my seminar. I talk about you ever hunt over a scrape?
Very, very little.
Yeah, I've tried it. Usually the deer are getting hit at night and everything.
Yeah.
But one day I came up with this idea. I went, my buddy, and I found a real good scrape. Not just like the territory scrape, one of the big ones you find in the woods. It's got, you can see where the deer pellets in it.
Yeah.
You can see where the buck has put his head down there and run his antlers through the mud and the urine there. So I got this idea.
You're getting me excited talking like that.
I got a gallon Ziploc baggie and I got trowel, garden trowel.
Yeah.
And I went there and I scraped that top 3 inches of urine-infested soil with the deer pellets and everything in it, put it in a Ziploc baggie, and sealed it shut. And then I called my buddy who lives like 5 miles away, and I said, you do the same thing. And then we switched bags. So I took his deer and put them introduced in my area there. Then I took that trowel, when I put in there were saplings there, and I scraped them saplings up there, not touching them. So you pull back that bark, and that smell comes off when it's like that. So them deer all know everybody. Like now, when we were deer living here, a scrape is like the corner bar. Everybody knows the girls visit it, the boys visit it. They work a licking branch, they know everybody. That buck shows up and smells, who are these people in my area? And then he turns and looks and goes, who made a rub in my area? And the first time I did that, God strike me dead now. It's true. 3 days later, I killed a deer over it in the daylight. Deer came in circling downwind there, and I put an arrow in him. And we thought we had the next thing. We were going to be in North American Whitetail magazine with this tip. And it took John 3 years before he killed one that way, and I killed one other deer like 8 years later. So, but the deer do show up more on camera. You will get a little activity there. If it's got to be the right timing, I think. But it's something that works.
Man.
So anyways,
what a great tip.
I sold in a seminar, and the next year this guy comes up with this younger boy and is like, hey, do you remember me? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't. And he's holding up a picture of a deer. I go, that's a great looking buck. He goes, I got it doing your scrape trick. They went to my seminar, tried it, and then killed a deer over it. So
that's got to make you feel pretty good.
Oh, that was the best.
Dude, I got to go back. I can't wait to watch the film because my facial expression when you got about halfway into that tip and I realized what you're doing, it's like a light bulb just going off. Like, oh my God, so simple. Like most, and I think I said this to you last time. Like a lot of the tips that you give, they are so freaking simple. And like, oh my God, it's just right there in your face all the time, and it just sometimes takes somebody to point it out to you, and the light bulb goes off. So, man, that's great. I can't wait to try that.
Try that. I just like to hear about it. I mean, I just like, but to have someone to come in and show you something that worked for them, they bring a picture of it, and it was his kid's like second deer. It was a good buck. Second buck, yeah. So I like that stuff. It's not about, like I said, it's not about me. It's about meeting the people in the industry the people that come to the show and hear stories. I mean, like last night at dinner, I mean, you guys have history down here, the way the deer hunting, everything's different. Oh.
Well, we're going to pause while the intercom goes up. That's Frank. You can hear.
Yeah.
We're going to take a minute and do the national anthem.
Oh.
One of our staff members has agreed to sing. She should be like on American Idol, but she doesn't. Just wants to sing in church. So if everybody can rise up.
Well, you know what? We're going to do the national anthem on the podcast. Why not? There's a flag right there.
Yep.
Y'all are going to see my hat head.
Thank you, everybody. The doors will now open for the 22nd annual Virginia Outdoor Sportsman Show.
Well, I think the noise level's getting ready to amp up, but I bet we're the first podcast to ever do a live national anthem.
That was pretty cool,
yeah,
wasn't it?
That's going to be pretty cool.
You know, I've been doing it for so many years. I still get chills when that goes on. I look around, see everybody there. That's, hats are off, hands are on the chest, behind their back.
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
So I guess we'll wrap it up here, Tim. But I will say just a final thought. What you were just touching on is that you were mentioning that it's about the relationships.
Yes.
And I am certainly several years into this now. I'm certainly seeing that to be the case too. And you are a prime example of that. That just someone that I've met through the industry and just have continued to just stay in touch with. And again, on the grand scale of things, I'm a nobody. You said you were a nobody earlier. Then I'm like -5 nobody.
The janitor here.
So you didn't have to take that kind of time with me, and you didn't have to stay in touch with me all these years. You didn't have to do that. You've got plenty of people probably pulling you in lots of different directions. So the fact that you did that, again, just a tip of the cap to you, sir.
Well, I appreciate that. It's part of my, I think part of it, if you're going to be like, wherever you use the word pro staff or ambassador, it's not just for the company, it's for the hunting public, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
To get with it works all the way around there. Some guys, gals, sure, it's all about them, but I'm not that one. I made a comment and delivered that said we all put our pants on the same, one leg at a time.
That's true. That's it. At the end of the day, we're all going to end up in the same spot, at least in the physical form, right? Yep. So with that being said, Tim, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Always
Appreciate
a pleasure.
We'll do it again.
Yes, sir. We'll do it again. Absolutely. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.